Right, everyone. This is Avi Harkishin from AH Charts. Let's talk about SPY for a moment and Tesla. I just put the chart up for SPY, and here it is. So I see some upside more for SPY, then a pullback towards that maybe 515 or that 1 hour fair value gap at 503. So somewhere within this range here I expect to see a pullback for SPY um, once we complete this sequence here. The theory that I'm going with is that SPY has bottom, at least for now, and we're starting another sequence here, which we have in terms of micro. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we have to have that pullback. Um, that's the sequence that I have. Now let's talk about Tesla. Before I talk about Tesla, let's go over to my post here on X. I posted this on April 5th. Today is April 9th. And I said I'm expecting Tesla to come down towards that 228, 220, then some upside, possibly 300, then a drop back to 157, 143, then some upside, then 90 and 80, which will be the macro bottom, which is time to accumulate for long term. Now we have done the 128 to 120 range, and we're in that upside. Now let's go and talk about that. If you look here, Tesla came down the bottom here and the low of that is 214. The high of that is 252 to 214. So we did touch that 228, 220, I think I had. We even came lower. So the point is we touched our range. So the range that I talked about was this range, that 220 to 220. We came down to 214. So we fulfilled this range so far. Once we fulfill this range, that was your time to accumulate Tesla, because I said it's going to go up towards that 300 range next. So let's look at Tesla now. Tesla pumped about, we had about, what is that, like 22%? Crazy pump. Let's go look at some charts now. This was the bear case scenario for Tesla. I'm going to remove that. Now, there is a couple theories that I have here. The first one is that Tesla has bottomed, and we're doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tesla has completed its macro bottom. Then you have 1, 2, right on top here. So this would be 1, 2, 3, maybe somewhere here 4, and 5, maybe a 5 somewhere here. This would be 291, or you can even come up here and then do your wave 4 and your wave 5. And once you've completed that, you're actually going to move, most likely going to move with the market, because the market still have a bit more upside. Once you've completed that, you're going to have your ABC retracement. It's going to be something like this, and you're most likely going to come back down towards that 239 range, which is possible. Let me just clear this up a bit now. Now, those are your targets. Somewhere within this range, I have the 241 to 229. Let me just mark this off here. Somewhere within this range would be your target. 241 to 229 is your retracement target for Tesla. Somewhere within that range. Now, this here would be the bull case scenario that we retrace. come back here, retest this level, and this entire sequence here would be a wave 1. So Tesla's now beginning a new wave. So this entire move would be a wave 1, a wave 2, and you're pushing up for that wave 3. That's bull case scenario. The bear case scenario for Tesla is this. I'm going to show you right now. It's a new low, and that new low would come back down here to fill this gap of 157. I don't know if it's going to do that or not. Can't say for sure. But let me see, am I on the daily? Yes, I am. So on the daily chart, you have this pattern here, which is sort of like a rising wedge if you look at it. And let me see if I can remove a lot of these. Give me 1 second. All right, just had to clear that chart up for a bit. The other scenario here that I have is we're having either, so this here is the bull case scenario, which is we have completed from the top. We have completed an A, B, and C. And Tesla has begun its 1, 2, and it's pushing up towards that 3, 4, 5. And now you're having a new sequence being formed for that all-time high. Pretty much that's what I have here. The bear case scenario is this one here. So if you look at pretty much over here, it's like almost the same thing here, and you start pushing up towards the top here, towards that 500. That's the bull case scenario for Tesla. The bear case scenario is doing something like this. Instead of an A, B, C, you have a 5 wave to the downside, and that's a 1, 2, 3, and you have your 4 somewhere here. And you're going to do your 5, your 5th wave, somewhere at the bottom. Don't know exactly where, but there's a daily gap there. Well, all daily gaps doesn't have to be filled. But I'm not saying sell Tesla, but just know the levels that if it breaks below the current low that we have on a pullback, that's your exit pretty much, because the next level that I have here is the gap fill of 157, 147. So I still have that. So not sure exactly which one is going to do, because you can have your 4 right over here. And within your 4th, now that you've completed your 4th wave over here, okay. Now you can have another set of 5 waves. Let me zoom in here for you so that you can see this better. Over here. So you take from the top here to the bottom. Tesla's up here. So if you see Tesla start pushing above this 292, or that's 300, 300 would be invalidation level. What does invalidation level means? It means the bear case thesis has been invalidated and Tesla is in a new sequence to form new highs. Pretty much that's what it means for Tesla. But if it can't break 300, it's very much possible that you have either an ABC, or you can see a 5 wave to the downside play out to complete this 5th wave. Now, I don't like just giving a bull case. I like to give a bear case scenario as well. For now, we're in a bull case, put it that way. For now, we're in a bull case unless we break below this 414 level here, then you're in a bear case. But for now, if you can come back down and you could retest the level that I talked about before, you're in a bull case. Let me go back and show you what that is. So this here is the bear case scenario where you're in a fifth wave retracement, or you're in an ABC and you're done. Pretty much that would be it for Tesla. Here you have an ABC. You have an ABC. You have an A, B, or that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe a couple of ABCs down. Here you have an ABC pretty much, or an XY, Z. And here again, you have the downside. And let's just say this is wave 4. Now you're in, this is wave 4. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So that's the bear case scenario for Tesla. And now let's look back at the bull case. So here's the bull case for Tesla, and the bull case for Tesla, you come back down and you have a fair value gap right over here. You come back, you retest that fair value gap at 236 right there. That's a 1 hour actually. FVG, fair value gap at 236. That would be a retracement. If you're holding this level here, or at least you're holding, you're not creating a new low, you're still in a bull case scenario if you're not creating a new low. If you continue to hold this level here, guys, Tesla's in a new sequence. It's a bullish case scenario of breaking above. If you break above $300 at this point, you start invalidating the Elliott wave to the downside, and you're most likely in a bull case scenario as well. So you got to look for that. Now let's look at let me see here. All right, this person called me drunk. Now I don't drink alcohol, by the way, but I just don't look at bull case or bull thesis. I look at bear cases as well, because I think as a trader you need to know both theses, both your bull thesis and your bear thesis if you're going to invest, because you need to know your downside risk if you're long a stock. So you just need to know when to get out. So you need to have your different scenarios. Yeah. And if this play out, very likely, you can see this play out here. Let's look at some of the data here now. Let me see, where is the data? Give me a second, guys. Okay, yeah, and just so you know, Elliott Wave Forecast, who's one of our partners, as well, that we employ to do some of the analysis. These are expert analysis. They're also forecasting a bit more downside for Tesla, so at least I'm paying attention to that as well. But we're looking at the invalidation level at that $300 level, which you see here at wave 4 as well. Let's look at some of the data. We have whale support at 225 and whales lower target at $200. So whales like to hit their targets. It's very much possible whales come down and hit their $200 target. So as I said recently, if whale have a $200 target and they plan on hitting that target, you're going to invalidate this and you're in a bear case thesis. A lot of my members, they've noticed that whales love to hit their targets at some point. So we pay attention to that, okay? Don't ignore the whale's target, guys. And currently, whales have support at 225, so they're looking to find support at 225 for this. And where's 225? You have 225 somewhere at the bottom here. So at least you're planning to come back and do that 1 hour fair value gap. So you're looking for Tesla to come back down. So if you can get the top of Tesla, pretty good short to come back down, write that down. And let's look at some of the dark pool data. So you have dark pool data. The highest dark pool print you have is 276, and you have some at 286. So let's try to correlate these information with my charts. So you have 276 highest print and dark pool level, and 286.92. If we're looking at the chart based on Elliott wave and fib retracement, I have here 2 275 is resistance. So we saw the 276 dark pool print. And I have read about 280 to 286 as the top here for Tesla. And you look at the print and you have that 276, 286. So we are right on the ball when it comes to dark pool print for Tesla. Let's look at some of the option information here. How are traders or investors in a market positioning themselves? So in terms of open interest, and this here is open interest going into Friday. So you have quite a bit more of bullish thesis going into Friday. So you have more calls coming in. So you have buyers positioning themselves all the way up to that 315 with the highest target at 300. So we'll see whether or not these hold, or you start having some of these call buyers taking profit. So we'll see. But their positioning is obviously, you see here, it was more negative, and here you have more positive call buyers. There's a net premium. Let's look at the gamma. So currently Tesla is at 269. It topped at around 276. So let's look at gamma. So the gamma exposure, Tesla's at 276, which is somewhere. It topped at 275. Okay, so it tops at 276. So if you pay attention here at 277 at this area, that's where you're going to find some resistance. These green bars, you tend to find some resistance here. So it came up here, it found some resistance, it came back, and it's at 269, right below this 272. So if Tesla cannot get above this 272 tomorrow, or this 277, it's going to get pulled back down to that 260. Big level here. So the next pull is going to be to that 260 if it can't get above 270. What is that? 272. Yeah, so that pullback is going to be here. If it drops below 260, guys, you're getting pulled back. Biggest level is 250 pullback here. If you can get above 272 or that 277, your pull is towards that 287 area that we talked about above here. You get some pull about $300 level over here. So these are the biggest pull to the upside. Biggest pull to the downside is 250. And then you get that 220 that you saw on the chart. So pretty much that's it for Tesla right now. So we're looking at somewhere around 270 based on the data. We're looking at around maybe 275 to 286 as a top before retracement here. I'm looking for the market to come back. Sorry, that's a long video. It's like a 19 minutes video. But that's my Tesla thesis. Right now, we're looking at a pullback somewhere here. And let's jump into, let's look at the VIX really fast. So here is VIX. I had 2K scenario for VIX. I said yesterday with this here is going to be the bull case scenario if VIX could hold this level, but it did not. So we're going to remove this, completely remove this. Then I said, looks like an ABC flat. If it's an ABC flat, you're going to, which is a A, B, C, you're going to push to the upside. But if it's not an ABC flat, you're actually in a larger ABC correction, and you're going to come back down to the bottom here to this level. So now here we are. So once VIX dropped to the bottom here, guess what, guys? It has complete an entire sequence for Elliott wave. It does come back to the bottom here. And what happens next in such a sequence? You get some crazy volatile movement again. But it doesn't mean it's happened right away. But it could take some time and it could happen again. But pretty much that's it. Unless you start breaking below these levels, you come back at the bottom here and invalidate all these Elliott wave theories or rules that we have. All right, that's it for Tesla. Long video. But this here, in terms of the overall market, you got to look at VIX, what VIX is doing as well. All right. Again, this is Avi Harkishan from Charts. If you have any questions, just go to my X and Hit me up. I don't mean my XX. I meant my X, my Twitter profile. Such a weird name. Yeah, over here. All right, guys. Later.